G'day legends, thanks for tuning in. In today's video, I'll just give you a quick update as to where we're at with the backyard. It's going really well since I scalped it down, you may remember, and did sort of a staged renovation, didn't top dress or anything like that. Just basically a height reset and cleared out some of the junk. I've been super strict with the plant doctor fortnightly and weekly applications. And we've been getting absolutely hammered with super hot days lately, so I've been keeping the water up to it because of that. So the grass is getting a heap of water and a heap of heat, so it's growing really well. Colour's looking good because it's got some iron in it. So overall, I'm very happy. But I've noticed that there's a couple of big thick runners that are starting to creep back in and that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do today is put the Scarifying cartridge in the Allet and run it over. Hopefully that pulls out any of the last remaining junk that I missed when I did the reset of the height and all that sort of stuff. But I'm hoping it also teases up some of those big thick runners so I can come along and cut them out. Ideally I'd like to verticut, but I haven't got a verticutter attachment for the mower. That might be on the list of things to get this year because that would probably solve that problem. But if this Scarifier pulls them up, and then I can just come along and knock them over. So I think because of the way the grass is going at the moment, I'm probably close to maybe needing some PGR. So I'll have a look at what it looks like at the end of today, and that might be next week's job, is to get some Primo Max down on there and go from there. So, all right, I'll drag the big girl out and put the Scarifying cartridge in and meet you out on the lawn. Righto. Now, as I pop a squat down here to take this cover off, it reminds me that a mate of mine, good mate of mine, has just taken delivery of Allet's new Cambridge mower, which is the, actually I don't really know where it fits in the scheme of things because it's the same size as this and runs the same Greenworks battery and motor, but it's got the Sterling type catcher to it and a different cartridge system, so it sort of sits in between this and the Sterling, I think. But he got it for a very good price. It's a very good looking mower, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks I might take this one over to his place and we'll do a comparison and a bit of a test drive of the new Allet Cambridge 43, hopefully. And the reason that I'm reminded of that is because, from memory, you may remember when I first got this, I said I wished they'd put a little door in here so you didn't have to take this whole side off every time you want to change a cartridge. They've done that. He showed me the other day. Has a little door, you don't need to take the whole side off just to get to all this stuff to get to that little door to take the cartridge out. So anyway, onwards. Right, so that is pulling up a heap of big thick runners and getting them to the surface, which is kind of what the plan was, which is good. It's making a mess of the yard, but that's all right. You can see, like, look at this. Considering this was pretty much down to almost dirt 4 or 5 weeks ago, the fact that these are all still in there is a massive pain. It is chopping some of them up, which is good. But the fact that it's bringing them up to the surface is hopefully at least ideal, because I can then come and get the big ones myself by hand, and then when I put the cutting cartridge back in the mower, hopefully it'll get the rest. But let's just have a look. That's 4 passes of the yard, and this is like, it's all, I mean, it's wet because I've been irrigating the lawn, but it is all dry, dead stuff, heaps and heaps and heaps of it that's just sitting under the canopy, stealing all the nutrients that I'm putting in. So get it out of there. Oh yeah, did I say it was hot yet? Man, it's hot. All right, so that is nearly sort of half to probably about, yeah, probably close to half an auto load worth of scarifying just coming out of that grass. And as you can see, it's just stuff from underneath, nothing from the top's been picked up. So it's always good to do that because it gets all that junk out from underneath the nice pretty part of the grass. But there are a heap more big long runners than I thought. I'm going to have a little look, like this sort of stuff, but it's everywhere through here. Which means I could definitely do with verticutting, so I might look into getting the verticutting cartridge for the Liberty. I don't really need to use that scarifying cartridge much because I've got the Ryobi Scarifier, but I just find it's nice using that one. But if I was to maybe sell the scarifying cartridge for that and get a verticutter, I don't know, I'll work that out. But what I think I'm going to do now, I was just going to go over with the Liberty, with the cutting reel, but because there's so many runners, I might get the Ryobi rotary out and just lift its height up and just use the vacuum of that sort of mower to suck those runners up and chop them off before I put the cylinder over it. So it's a bit of extra work for the day, but I think the results will pay off in the end, getting all those runners out. So I'll go and do that and mow the grass 3 times today. All right. Hoping that it's a case of it's going to look worse before it looks better, because that did take a heap of runners out, but there's still heaps in there. Like, it's like just this huge amount. I mean, I trashed this patch trying to get a bunch out, but like these, I don't know if it's a case of like the lawn builder granular fertilizer and then the Plant Doctor liquid fertilizer that's, you know, I don't know, since I've been taking care of this lawn, it's not really done this with big runners that much. There are the odd one here and there, but not as ballistic as that. So I don't know whether it's just a perfect storm of heat and water and fertilizer and iron and all that sort of stuff that's just made them go absolutely nuts. But I think it's time to invest in a verticutter, because I don't want that. But had I just lifted the height of the cylinder maybe 5 mil and run over it as it was, they would all still be under the canopy and it would have striped up and it would have looked nice and green and it probably would have looked perfectly fine. So there is that option to just lift the height up a little bit, cover them over and pretend they're not there. But ultimately, for the health of the lawn, you want nice fine blades of grass growing up, not big thick runners growing sideways. So yeah, so I'm going to chuck the cutting blade back in now and run over it with that one. All right, so that appears to be a bit of a backward step compared to where we were, but with a view to making it better for the next couple of weeks by getting all of that dead stuff out from underneath it and making a start on some of those runners. When the heat comes out of the air, the Savo, I'll probably have to come out and start snipping some of those longer runners that I didn't get with either of the mowers, but that's all right. But it doesn't look terrible. Certainly doesn't look terrible, but hopefully in the next week or two, what we've done here today will yield some good results. So we're 10 days out from Christmas, so if I get another 2 mows in between now and then, I'm going to do a Christmas Eve mow and get it all tidy because we've got the family coming over. So I'll upload that on Christmas Eve, I hope, and go from there. But yeah, that'll do it for today. I hope you're all well. I hope your lawns are all going gangbusters in this heat. Don't forget to hydrate, but also look after your furry mates when they're out on the lawn with you. This little fella cannot get enough of an ice block, so I'll have a cold drink, he'll have his ice block, and then we'll go and do the front yard. So, all right, thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on Christmas Eve. Cheers.